Good morning, everybody. How is it going today? I remember, hi, Donna. I just got to see you a lot. I love it. See you else here. That's it. That's the only person I saw last week was Donna. I like it. Okay, cool. Donna.
Very envious of all of the pictures that I was seeing.
Well, make it a plan to go to EXPCon next year, Rima, because
I hear that it's going to be in Miami again.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm definitely putting that on the list.
Yeah. Add to your calendar. Add conferences to your calendar now. So let me just take this away is that real estate conferences are so worth it. Okay, as long as you find a good one. Yeah, you got to find a good one. That's the key. But every time you go to a conference, you're going to come away with so many things that you're like, oh, okay. So my advice, if you don't attend conferences, is you should make it part of your business plan to attend at least one real estate conference in 2025. Plan it out now, whether it be your broker's conference, whether it be FubCon, whether it be, Tom Ferry, Jeff Glover, whoever it is, like make it part of your plan to attend one real estate conference. And I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm going to give you a monetary reason why you should go to a conference. I got 3 listing appointments and 2 buyer referrals at the conference. That's going to be over $150,000 in GCI. Okay. Not only that, but
appointments.
Huh?
How'd you get listing appointments over there?
What happens? What happened? And then the other thing I tell you is because I also have a coaching business, I booked 20 coaching sales calls. So does that pay for the conference? Yes. Does it pay for the entire trip? Yes. On top of that, how many more connections did I make? I have goals, right? I want to speak on stage. So did I get in the right room with the people who can help me get to speak on stage? Yes. So there's more reasons than to just go and learn. It's like what you can do, what you can make. But every time you leave town, that is when everybody wants you to help them. Right? Like every time I go out of town, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay. So listing appointments that I now have to hurry up and prepare for because they're in the next 2 days and buyer consults. Okay. So there's that. Plus I got offers on 2 of my listings. So there we go. Go out of town. Okay. There's
Sure, amazing.
2025 business plan. Just go out of town. Oh, Deanna was there last week. I love it. Okay. Woohoo. All right, everybody. So, and then on top of that, I actually get to see people that I see on this little Zoom camera. Every time I'm like, oh, let me see you in person. Let me touch you. Let me give you a hug. Let me say you're a real person, right? That's always the fun stuff. So there were a couple of takeaways that I took away from this conference that I think are going to be really impactful for 2025. Beyond the fact that I don't have a voice right now. I have conference voice is what I like to call it. So it's like talking to so many people or so many days. A couple of things. The biggest thing I took away from everybody, from the speakers on the main stage, from the speakers in the breakout rooms, from just the conversations with people, is that 2025 is going to be the year of relationships. So if you do not have a relationship-based business right now, if you do not make it part of your regular business plan to connect with people on a consistent basis, your business is likely going to feel that in 2025. Because now more than ever, there are so many different things. I have some new compliance things that I'll tell you about here in a minute because I went to some compliance calls or rooms or whatever. But more than because of all these compliance things and because of everything that's happening that's kind of shaking up the industry right now, your relationships are going to be the thing that drives you. They're going to be the thing that moves you forward. So if you are a person who just generates a lot of leads, but you don't have relationships built, you're likely going to feel that. You're going to have to work a little bit harder to get those leads to convert because you don't have the relationship built. So it's all going to start in relationships. It's all going to start in what I like to call the discovery phase of my dream framework, which is what I teach people in my cohort, right? You've got to spend a lot of time in the discovery phase, really understanding who you are and who you serve and what their exact problem is. There were so many people when I was on stage. I heard, who was it? Who was the first speaker? Jesse Itzler. Oh my God, so powerful. You guys should all go listen to Jesse Itzler. I just follow him on Instagram. He is so inspiring. I was in tears on day one. I was like, oh my gosh, what a way to start the conference. He was so powerful. He talked about being a billionaire. He talked about being a billionaire financially and being a billionaire spiritually. But you have to have, like, if you want to be a true billionaire, you have to have both. So he talked about how 0 spiritual billionaire times a billion is still 0. So if you're going out and you're like, you're trying to work your butt off, just trying to hustle. And I don't know how many real estate agents I talked to over the last week that's what they're doing. I talked to so many who are burnt out, just hustling to try to close, right? It doesn't matter if that doesn't even matter. How much money you put in the bank today does not matter if you don't have a life to support it. And so when we were talking, like, that was my biggest takeaway. It's like, oh my God, I've been saying this for so long. I've been saying it for so long. And it's like, it's becoming a little bit more mainstream now. So it makes me really happy because that's what I teach, right? I teach people to build a life, not to just build a business. And your life, the way you build a life is by establishing strong relationships. And the very first person you have to establish a strong relationship with is yourself. And that was the biggest takeaway that I got from this entire thing. Does anybody else who was there have anything to add to that? I know Deanna and Donna were both there.
Jesse was amazing, and I don't think anybody had a dry eye.
No.
Because if you don't have that on this side with the money and everything, you better have soul on the other side and make it happen and learn about what you need to do and who you are.
Yeah.
And that's recorded somewhere, right?
Yeah, there was a link that went out, Rima. I'll see if I can find it for you.
I think it's probably on our workplace page. Yeah.
He talks all about building a life resume.
Yeah.
And so, we have all these things that we like to try to do. And when it comes to real estate, I think what we have to remember is that there's things thrown at us all day, every day. I mean, can you count on 2 hands? The answer is probably no. How many of you can count on 2 hands the number of opportunities or options you have for lead gen, marketing, coaching, systems, tools, processes? Can you count that only on 2 hands? No. I think it's impossible to just count all of the options that we have today. Even at the expo, there were so many different things. Oh my God, I could sign up for all these things, right? So you gotta find the focus, and the focus really should be, in my personal opinion, the focus should be on building what's in here and what the purpose of your business is. Really getting deep into the why you do what you do, because the more clear you are on that, the better your return is on your business. So I tell people all the time that, like, look, my production, I mean, I've sold 35 homes in 1 year. Great, cool. Made a lot of money. Now, this year I'll probably sell 15. I'm going to make more money selling 15 than I made selling 35, by the way. And I'm going to work less, way less, significantly less. And I'm going to be a lot happier. Like, my business right now is perfect. There's literally nothing anyone can tell me that makes me want to fix my business now. So if you feel like you have something in your business that needs to be fixed, that's where opportunity comes in to really dive deep and discover, like, why are you doing what you're doing? The relationships as we start moving into 2025, those relationships are going to be what is going to keep you an active real estate agent. Whether you want to, if you want to sell 100 homes, do it. Sell 100 homes and be happy selling 100 homes. Don't be trying to sell 100 homes just because you want to have a large transaction count, right? Do it because you want to build relationships on a massive scale. Right? Just the mindset difference there. The other thing that I took away from this whole conference was having extreme focus. Extreme focus. I've gone to many, many conferences in my life. Lots. I love them. They're so much fun. But I usually come back and I don't know what it is that I want to do. I come back and I'm like, God, there were so many awesome ideas. I guess I want to do them all. Right? But this year it was totally different. I came back with, I don't want to do all those things. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in this. I am interested in one thing. And that is what I'm going to do. One thing. That's it. So having extreme focus was like, it was a topic of conversation from a lot of the, pretty much every single one of the people who were up there. I mean, last year I was inundated with all these AI things. Like, how many of you like get excited when you hear about all these AI tools? There are so many out there. Like, who needs people? You don't even need people in your business anymore. You want social media managers? There's AI for that. You want an admin? There's an AI for that. Like, you don't even need people, right? I'm not saying that like that's true, by the way. I'm not saying that that's true, but that's what they're trying to make it believe, that you don't need people. You just need AI. So this year I came back and I'm like, no. I'm going to need people to be experts at the AI. Because AI is so mainstream right now. It is in everybody's face that if you are not better than your clients with using AI to help them sell their homes and get more exposure on their homes, why don't they just go do it themselves? Was anyone else in that breakout room with me? Or that's Phil Stringer. That's Phil Stringer. He said that on the main stage. AI is so prominent. Everything can be done with AI. But you have to be the expert at it, because there are going to be people out there. Let's pretend you live in a tech-savvy city like Seattle. Okay, we are number 2 tech hub in the world. Okay. How many people in Seattle, how many regular consumers in Seattle probably know AI? Tons, everybody. So if you are not better at them or better at AI than they are, then you're a commodity. So your people that you surround yourself with, your VAs, your assistants, your agents, everyone that you surround yourself with, they all need to be an expert in something. So you need to surround yourself with a group of experts, because that's what helps you build. That's what helps build you up, right? That's what helps make you not a commodity. And again, that's all about relationships. It literally all goes back to relationships. I can tie everything back to relationships and why those relationships are important. A lot of AI tools, cool AI tools that I learned about, tons. My favorite is still Gemini. Still Gemini. All the other AI stuff, cool, but still Gemini. Okay, so yeah, Jesse, and I'm reading questions. Yeah, Jesse, who Itzler, Itzler, he is Sarah Blakely's husband. Y'all know who Sarah Blakely is, right? I didn't know that. It was funny. They're doing this whole intro about who he is, telling all these amazing things he's done. And then at the end, they're finally like, oh, and he's married to Sarah Blakely. I'm like, oh, that's who he is. Like all the other stuff. I didn't know that he was like a coconut water founder and he had all these other things. But then they said he's married to Sarah Blakely. And I'm like, oh my God, that's who he is, right? But you should see, like, if we can't get the recording, you got to watch it, because he had this great idea. He wanted to promote his coconut water company. And he, I don't remember who he was talking about, but he wanted to promote his coconut water company. And he basically said, he created this.
Was it Mark Wahlberg? Was it Mark?
No, it was Moot.
No,
oh, it was Matt Damon. It was Matt Damon was the actor. Yeah. So he basically,
remember that.
Where the connections come in, right? They're talking about how if you want something, you have to just ask for it, which is a huge lesson for me. Because I'll be very vulnerable and tell you, I don't like to ask for help. I am a highly, highly, highly independent person. I'm a very high D. I can do it myself. Okay. And I know that a lot of you can relate to this. And it's really hard for me to be like, hey, I want you to help me get there. I need your help. I don't know how to get there on my own. I need your connection, because it is not about what you know. It's all about who you know. I mean, have anyone heard that before? All about who you know. You heard that book, Who Not How. Okay. So it's all about who you know. So Jesse Itzler, he is a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He's one of 600 billionaires in the world. Okay. one of 600. That's what did he say? He had an awesome stat. You have a better chance at winning the lottery than you do at becoming a billionaire. And that chance goes down based off of your race and your gender. So I was like, oh my gosh, I might as well just okay. So when he was telling this story, it was just to tell you that the way it happens is by the connections that you make. So he wanted to promote his coconut water company. And he had a conversation. I'm going to tell you a story probably way worse than him. So do not like count me for, okay. But it's just a cool story. So I have to share it as much as I can. So anyway, he had met Matt Damon. He knew Matt Damon from some way, shape, or form. And, I guess they always talk, oh, I'd be interested in getting in on that business deal, right? Business partners, whatever. So he had a meeting with some Coca-Cola CEO. Okay. And he wanted to promote his coconut water. And he's like, well, my business partner, Matt Damon, blah, blah, blah. And the CEO was like, oh, Muhtar was his name. Muhtar said, oh, you're partners with Matt Damon? And Jesse's like, yeah. And they weren't really. Okay. They weren't really. So he ended up calling Matt Damon and saying, hey, can you do this and this and this for me? And then they put it into a video and they presented it to Muhtar. And all of a sudden his business, he got the contract with Coca-Cola. So it's a really, really powerful story. You've got to hear him tell it over me. We'll see if I can find it for you to share it with you. Yeah, Anna said he had to pitch it to Coca-Cola and he mentioned Matt Damon. So it's just a powerful story of like putting yourself in the right room with the people who can get you there and then having the courage to ask for help. And that is the hardest thing for me. To have courage to say, hey, I might not know exactly what I'm doing right here. I might not be able to get myself to that next level without you. And having the courage to ask for help when you need it was another big thing that I took away. Awesome. It's awesome, like powerful story. Yeah, Cynthia says, same, I have a hard time asking for help. Yeah. Anybody else have a hard time asking for help?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay if you do. I do too. I actually had one of my really, really, really good friends tell me that feedback. She's like, Lynea, she's like, I know you don't mean it. She's like, but sometimes I think people don't offer you help because you don't act like you need it. And I'm like,
I've had a couple of big injuries and illnesses in the past year or two and somehow I find myself having these when I live on the third floor of an apartment building with no elevator. And I have had to really stretch myself to ask for help because I had fractured ribs and I couldn't carry anything. It's like, I need people to help me bring groceries up. I need people to help. And so I just literally had to start calling people and asking for help to do simple things. And it's really hard to break out of that. But when you absolutely positively need it, you have to do it. And so I just have to keep taking that mindset to the next thing and be like, how do I find the right person to get me where I need to be? And just pretend I have fractured ribs when I'm asking them to do it.
A really good book. If you haven't read it, you should definitely read. It's Who, Not How. Oh, such a good book. And I mean, in the book, it talks more about your business, how your business, but it's life too. Because Rima's example is right there. It's the answer is not how do I do it? It's who can help me with this, right? Because listen, you're surrounded by people. In this call here, we have 30 people right now, and I bet you, if any one of you called any one of you else and had a question about your business and how to do something or whatever, would you pick up the phone and answer that call? I'm pretty sure every single person on this call would be like, yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to share with you. Let's see how we can help each other. So you have a bunch of who's on this call right now. So if you're like me, if I'm only speaking to me right now, I'm saying it out loud so I can record myself saying it to myself, okay? If you need help, all you got to do is ask for it. And that was a huge takeaway. Huge takeaway. I talked to some of our big leaders at EXP this weekend about just some of my goals. Is that Rima? Rima's trying to make us party now?
No, I was trying to find the Jesse video and I clicked on something on Workplace and it was all y'all dancing in Miami.
Funny. So what was I saying though? What was I saying? I had a really good point I was trying to make.
Sorry.
You were talking about
Yeah.
What?
We were talking to some high level
thank you. About your thank you. Thank you, Juliana. Someone get me back on track. My ADD went out of control for a second there. I was talking to some high level leaders at EXP about my goals and okay, cool. Here, I have something that can help you right here, right now. Be on this call at 6 a.m. Be on this call Here's my email. Here's my phone number. I learned how to do that iPhone to iPhone bump contact thing this weekend. I didn't know how to do that, everybody. No clue how to do that. We figured it out finally. Got so many people on my phone, and they're like, call me. I've already had like this morning, people like, hey, don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Jackie said, I love to help people, but I can be afraid to ask for help. Yeah. For not wanting to look stupid. It's an ego thing. Like, not asking for help is an ego thing. It's totally ego. Because I don't like, no, whenever someone asks me for help, I never think somebody's stupid. Ever. But I have that feeling. I'm like, okay, if I ask for help, it's going to seem like I don't know what I'm doing. That's not true. Not true. Right? So Jackie, you are not alone. Not alone, not alone. Anybody else who was at the conference who wants to have any takeaways that I haven't covered? I know Deanna was there. Anna was there. Anything I missed?
I think there was just so much. It was, a lot. But one of the sessions that I did was with the writer of Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yep.
And if you have not read that book, it should be a high priority for you. And one of the things he talked about there that I don't know if he covered in the book, I don't remember, was, being nominated for the top 50 in the world. And he was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And he came in at 50, and they videoed his reaction and how disappointed he was that he reacted that way. So then he went back to his team, and they were like, how do we step it up? And they came up with 30 ways to step up their business. And he was like, not good enough. Go back to the table and come up with more. And they did this 4 or 5 times. And then they started hitting all these very mundane things that we would think, like how water is served to you. They studied that. They thought about it. They thought about the best way to do it. So like us, where we put our key boxes on, how we put them on. Do we put them on where they're going to damage a door or easy for every agent to get to? Don't put them way up here. Not everybody's tall. Like just little things like that. I was like, if you go back and really study your business, because it's not about the relationship anymore. It's about, not saying that, not contradicting what Lynea said, just saying if you take it from outside of the relationship, the next thing is what you're doing and how you're presenting the business. And it doesn't matter if it's in your listing presentation, buyers, whatever, just really, really working it and churning it and coming in and dialing it into the best it can be.
Yeah, I call that the appreciate phase of my dream framework. So if any of you are on my masterclass, I have a 5-step dream framework that I teach you. It's discover, relate, engage, appreciate, and multiply. That's how you build a business. It's 5 steps. And that all goes back to the appreciate phase. So yes, Deanna's right. But that starts with having good relationships so you can't appreciate those relationships. So yeah, it kind of all goes hand in hand. And yes, Will Gadara was awesome. That book is fantastic. Fantastic.
What was that one called? I had a teammate tell me all about that session yesterday.
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah. And the story of the Tiffany champagne glasses for people getting engaged in the restaurant. Wait. Yeah.
Yep.
How do we do that every day?
Yeah, that book really resonated with me as well. How do you appreciate your clients so much that like they have no choice but to be raving fans? We all want raving fans in our business. We all want them, but 1% of us earn them. What was that book? Unreasonable Hospitality. If someone wants to type it in the chat, that would be helpful. Unreasonable Hospitality.
I'll do it.
So, biggest takeaways are from this call. Plan a conference for 2025. Put it on your business plan right now. Just figure out which one it is. If you're at EXPCon has 3 options next year. Go to Barcelona, Quebec, or Miami.
We'll do talk.
I'm going to Miami. I don't want to go out of the country. Okay. So plan a real estate conference. Okay. If you're another brokerage, hopefully your brokerage has awesome conferences like EXP's, and then go to those. Another really good conferences that I've gone to has been Jeff Glover, Glover University. He's phenomenal. He's a fantastic trainer. Fantastic. I'm very inspired by him. He's very methodical. He thinks a lot of the way I do. So that's another really great conference for you. FubCon, I've heard, is also a great conference. I haven't been to that one, but I've heard is a great conference. So find a conference, at least one, and give yourself the privilege. Oh, Jared James also, he's fantastic. I haven't been to his conference, but he's awesome on Instagram. But find at least one conference and go to it. That should be on your business plan, because I just told you at the beginning of this call what it did for me, like just financially. I'm going to 10x my investment just by going to a conference, just by meeting people. And then when you go to the conference, put yourself in a room with people you don't know. That was the other thing. Like, it's really easy, especially within your organization. Like with EXP, it's really easy because you're in your organization. Let's just stay in our organization because we know everybody. I want to see all the people that we see all the time. But this year, I actually specifically put myself in places with people I'd never met before. And I am so glad I did. So glad I did. Best thing I ever did. And to have extreme focus. Pick one thing for 2025. One thing. Has anyone's ever heard that the riches are in the niches, right? Riches are in the niches. Okay. One thing. Find one lead generation source that you want to go after, and go after it with a vengeance, and don't give up. Don't do the regular realtor thing that 99% of realtors do. Find something, want it to work in 2 months, and then, oh, it didn't work. Let me move on to the next one. Commit to yourself to it. Do some research in the beginning. Find one thing that you want to focus on. Research the heck out of it. Decide and commit. Then build relationships. Build relationships with each other. Build relationships with yourself. Start with yourself. Improve that relationship. Like, your relationship with yourself needs to be healthy in all areas. Health, finances, career, spirituality, relationships, all areas. So if you have one area of that relationship with yourself that needs to be fixed, needs to be worked on, improved, do that. For me, 2024 was all about the financial, my relationship with my money. It's a really hard one. It's one of the hardest ones I've ever had to. I got health and food and nutrition. I got health and wellness and nutrition and spirituality. I got all that stuff down. Money. So really analyze your relationship with all those areas and improve one area. Because the more you focus on improving that one area of yourself and your relationship with yourself, it's going to automatically start attracting other people who are also doing the same thing, and put yourself on a growth path with other people. So those are the big takeaways that I got. There's a lot of other cool things that I learned. But those are the most important ones that I think are going to make the biggest impact for you in your business. If you want to know more about it, I am going to start putting out some content. I have a monthly coaching option for people who are interested in doing a lower ticket monthly coaching option with me. I'm going to start putting that out there. We'll get that posted in our group soon. But that's going to be available to you all ASAP. So if you're interested in doing a lower ticket coaching option with me, I have one for you. Any conferences you'd suggest led by women? No. I'm trying to find Joy. I would love that. I've looked for the same thing. I think it's going to be Lynea Carver in 2026. So that'll be the first one.
Yeah.
That's what I think. We're going to need to put it together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you can't find what you want, make it yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It'll just be me. Yes, Joy, I got one for you. Lynea Carver in 2026.
I could do a Zumba breakout session.
There you go.
Well, not breakout, but like get everybody up and moving. Dance break in the middle.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. I have someone who want to come and be the personal chef for everybody. So yeah, we could totally do this. So that's what I got for you. But find something and just go after it and don't stop. Commit to it. Like the true definition of commit. How many of you have been in any sort of relationship for a long period of time? Whether that be a spouse, partner, parent, Is that a commitment? Are you committed to something? Yes.
Not anymore.
So do the same for your business. Find something that is just as important as that, whether it be your children, your spouse, your animals, whatever it is. Everyone has a commitment. Everyone is able to make a commitment, an unconditional commitment. Like I commit to my dog. Whatever she wants, she gets. Okay? Same thing for your business. So just find that and do that. And Cynthia's, yes, with myself. Okay, that's it. All I got for you. We have a guest speaker next week, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.